Right now on Denver 7 News at 7 o'clock on Local 3, new penalties for fentanyl possession proposed in a Colorado bill. We're breaking down the debate still surrounding the legislation and the changes that could be coming.
President Biden is sending more than $800 million worth of military aid to Ukraine. Here at home, a group of veterans is working to collect medical supplies and equipment to send.
Realistically, we thought the ambulance was going to be kind of a pipe dream until she showed up.
How you can support their mission to take an ambulance across the seas.
And the State Board of Education will determine the future of the Adams 14 school district today. We're taking a closer look at another school that faced poor ratings, their approach that they took to turn things around for their students. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday morning. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. And we got through the coldest day of the week. That's the good news. Temperatures warming up, but we still just can't seem to shake this wind, Lisa.
No, yeah, today and tomorrow, I think we're going to see red flag warnings covering pretty much all of eastern Colorado. This set of alerts goes into effect at 11 o'clock this morning. The winds are going to start to pick up right around lunchtime. It's dry. Relative humidity is low. We're looking at some fairly mild conditions temperature-wise. We'll be at about 60 degrees in Denver this afternoon. So again, some high fire danger. Right now it's chilly. We're at 20. It's going to be a good 35 to 40 degree warm up though by this afternoon. It does feel pretty cold out there. Feels like 11 here in Denver, but we'll see a decent warm up. Take a look at that wake up forecast right around 53, 55 degrees by lunchtime, and then highs again close to 60. So things will warm up here nicely, and the mountains are going to find more 30s. It is going to get calmer here in town this weekend. I'll have a look at your Easter weekend forecast on the Super 7 Day coming up.
And conditions will continue to improve up in the mountains. Right now, you can see from our split screen, you can see the conditions on I-70 right near the Eisenhower-Johnson Tunnel with Loveland Ski Area right there. So treating more wet and sloppy than all totally snow covered. The eastbound side is a bit snow covered right now. And then over here on this side of I-70, you can see that we've had eastbound I-70 or westbound I-70 closed down from Watkins getting on over to Air Park and E-470. It started with that semi that went into the guardrail. That semi broke down, so they closed all of I-70 to clear it all. Take a look at the map out that way, and this is where we're talking about. Westbound I-70 is closed at Watkins. You take that little spur up to Colfax, it's Colorado Highway 36, that takes you right back over here to I-70. So that's the detour route right now to get around it. The rest of the drive looks pretty heavy in some of the usual spots. The crash we had, I-25 over near Orchard, is all cleared up. Still some busy areas to the north side of town, as well as over across I-70 and 6th Avenue getting busier as well.
Well, take a look at this. Just a few grains of fentanyl can kill a person. This much. Look at how it compares to a penny. But until yesterday, you could have dozens of fentanyl pills and not be charged with a felony under a bill moving through our legislature. Well, that changed with a hotly contested amendment. Denver 7's Veronica Costa joins us, breaking down what changed and what's next.
Well, now that fentanyl bill, like you mentioned, it's changed. Colorado lawmakers making it more punishing by approving this amendment that would make it, a felony to have more than 1 gram of fentanyl. Previously, it was 4 grams. The amendment to the bill was approved after a nearly 14-hour-long discussion about it. There was a lot of unsatisfaction, though. Addiction experts, doctors, advocates for racial justice in the legal system, and others, they were very much against this change to the bill. Many of them said they don't want to go back to incarcerating people who have drug problems. Meantime, some officers, some district attorneys as well, they were quite on the opposite side. They argued that any possession of fentanyl should be a felony. They wanted this zero tolerance policy. Speaker Alec Garnett said there is no way to satisfy everyone in this situation.
It's important to realize this is no silver bullet. The possession issue is not going to solve the fentanyl crisis. The other key components of this bill are going to go a long way to helping get those drug dealers off the street and the resources into the hands of law enforcement and harm reduction experts to help save lives.
And there were 3 other amendments to the bill, changes that are likely to continue as it makes its way through the legislature. We're live in downtown Denver. I'm Veronica Costa, Denver 7.
Yeah, thank you, Veronica. More than 4,000 people in Denver, meanwhile, have been waiting on their orders of free Naloxone for several weeks now. Now the city says it finally has the medication and is ready to ship it. A combination of a surge in demand and distribution issues from suppliers led to the backlog. The city health department says it had around 4,500 orders for Narcan over February and March, compared with just 500 in the past 5 months before that.
So folks will start receiving their things. We're really excited about that. We are so thrilled that everyone wants to carry Narcan and learn how to check their drugs and make sure that people in their communities are safe.
So if you live here in Denver and you want to carry naloxone, we have a link to the city's request form on thedenverchannel.com.
The State Board of Education will discuss the future of the Adams 14 school district today. Adams 14 officials will present their plan for improvement. If the board rejects the plan, though, the district could be reorganized, or its flagship, Adams City High School, could also close. Adams 14 has been struggling for more than a decade now. It received the state's 2 lowest performance ratings every year since 2010. 2 out of 10 students are reading at grade level, and 1 in 10 are where they should be in math. Its 4-year graduation rate has also stayed well below the statewide average. So turning a school around is not an easy process. It takes a lot of commitment and creativity.
Between 2016 and 2019, though, one school did it. Eagleton Elementary in Denver went from having low performance ratings to meeting those state standards. Denver 7's Jessica Crawford joins us now to show us how they did it.
That's right, and Eagleton Elementary says that the process was not all about academics. They say that environment and restorative justice really played a role here.
Bienvenidos a las familias de Eagleton.
Welcoming students to Denver's Eagleton Elementary for learning and fun.
I played with my friends and studied a lot.
Gael Galvan is a 3rd grader at the Title I school. As recently as 2016 and 2018, the school was on a priority improvement plan, meaning the Colorado Department of Education found it was falling short of state expectations for students in some areas.
Estoy muy emocionada porque el lunes, el 24 de agosto, es el primer día de escuela.
Principal Janine Dillabaugh says truly connecting with students online and in person was one way the school was able to move the needle towards progress.
When students walk into our building, they are greeted by at least 2 to 3 staff members, and that is before they even walk through the front door of their classroom.
The school also making strides to being trauma-informed, bringing in a restorative justice approach coordinator to work with students facing behavioral issues.
Restorative approach is based on relationships. So they know that if the students did something wrong in the building, they need to sit down and have a process or have a conversation with Mr. Simmons in my office. And we're gonna get to the bottom of things, and we're gonna teach and reteach these kids those skills they're missing in the school grounds.
The approach to academics changed too.
We have worked to really ground teachers in the standards, unpacking standards, knowing what the standards require of their instruction so that they're providing grade level, rigorous work for our students.
In 2019, it appears those choices paid off. The school was in the green, meeting expectations on the majority of performance metrics. Students were also really enjoying certain subjects.
Writing and science.
But students like Gael are more than just numbers and colors on a school rating system.
I think one of the most amazing things about Eagleton is that we have a really nice balance of high expectations and love and compassion.
Colorado school students are taking some of their state assessments throughout this month, and schools like Eagleton are really hoping that they can hold on to their strong performances, as these performance ratings have actually been paused for the last 2 years because of the pandemic. Live from downtown Denver, I'm Jessica Crawford, Denver 7.
Thank you, Jessica. Today marks 50 days since Russia invaded Ukraine. The presidents of Poland and the 3 Baltic states all visited Kyiv and pledged more military support in a meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky. The Biden administration, meanwhile, has authorized an additional $800 million for weapons and ammunitions, including long-range artillery systems, armored personnel carriers, and drones and helicopters. Ukrainian officials are preparing for a major offensive by Russian forces in the eastern Donbas region. On satellite imagery, we can already see armored vehicles and support equipment on the move, ready to attack. In Kharkiv, meanwhile, military experts claim cluster bombs are being used to attack the city and terrorize civilians. All 7 members of Colorado's congressional delegation have been sanctioned by Russian President Vladimir Putin. Russia sanctioned 398 of the 435 members of the House, including Representatives Joe Neguse, Lauren Boebert, and Doug Lamborn, who all tweeted after hearing the news. They took it in stride. Neguse said he'll wear it as a badge of honor. Boebert wrote, "Judge me by the enemies I have made," and Lamborn said simply, "Oh no, LOL."
Well, a group of military veterans from Colorado is preparing for a special mission to Ukraine. Daniel Taylor and other members of Operation Sunflower Railroad have collected medical supplies from across the state. The biggest contribution has been an ambulance from the Poudre Fire Authority.
We're seeing the worst of humanity on the other side of the planet. We can still find some of the best humanity of humanity right here at home.
Sunflower Railroad is still working out the logistics to get the ambulance to Ukraine, and they would love help paying for their mission. If you would like to chip in, we've opened up a Denver 7 Gives Fund. You can donate right now through the denverchannel.com/gives, and on the drop-down menu, select Help Get Medical Supplies to Ukraine.
Denver-based Frontier Airlines is settling a lawsuit with flight attendants. We'll break down their allegations and what the company is now doing in response.
And the upside is endless for fully transportable self-contained farms.
The benefits of this type of product is it can be deployed anywhere.
I'll introduce you to the Colorado company giving the world the means to grow fresh produce.